Timmy Joe reviews anything.
Reviewing computer parts on YouTube.
That's
Woo! Gotta be pumped on that, right, Will? Computer parts! Woo!
Oh yeah.
What's up, Flapjacks? My name's Timmy Joe, making videos about computers on the internet. And I'm telling you, you could do a real good job of making yourself a damn good PC these days. On the cheap, on the DL. A lot of these guys out there show you to buy like a, off-lease Dell, and put a graphics card in it. That don't look cool. This, I mean, it's not the greatest case or anything, but it looks pretty cool. We got Cinebench going on it. You saw the build. It was, it takes me about 25 minutes to build these PCs. Maybe, we'll say 45 minutes just to be safe. And then I do about an hour's worth of testing on them just to make sure things aren't going crazy. Sometimes it's a little worse than that. With this motherboard, I had a little bit of trouble getting the memory working properly on it. A BIOS update fixed that once I figured out the right BIOS. But we're running Cinebench, and we got the price of what I paid. Everything's in Canadian, and then we'll convert her down to the American. So, well, let's run in Cinebench. Core i5, bought this on eBay for $50. Okay, 2400, really good gaming CPU. Could probably do even better on a GPU than the one I have here, but not bad at all. And you could buy a pretty good processor on eBay off lease stuff. They just put them in bulk, especially these lower end parts that aren't overclockable. You're not going to be able to overclock on this because it's got a H61 motherboard from Gigabyte, and as you saw, it's pretty limited. It doesn't have USB 3. It's no overclocking. It's only got 2 DIMM slots. You could probably find a better motherboard than this for the same price. Who knows? We've got 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM. I buy this in bulk off eBay from time to time. Yeah, prices kind of vary, but it's pretty easy to find 2 4-gig sticks of DDR3 1600 for a good price. So we got 432 in Cinebench. That is better than the highest overclocked Core, 2 quad or whatever. So we're doing not bad. There's not going to be much of a CPU bottleneck on gaming in this system. Until you get into like 1060 and above. You could put a 1060 in this system, and that wouldn't be a problem. But 960, I got a really good deal on it, as we'll see in a second. 120 for this. This is all Canadian pricing, guys. I bought this. Actually, I bought some of this stuff all down at this store in Scarborough, which is near Toronto. It's Tech City. Tech City, yeah. I went down there to look up some used parts and stuff like that. Got the motherboard, a cheap PSU, and the graphics card at a really good. This was new. I opened up, this was brand new. And this is better than a 1050 Ti, as I'll prove to you kind of in a second. Although it does have half the VRAM, which will can get you into some trouble. So, we want to look at hard drives. You always want to put an SSD. You can get SSDs super cheap. I get them for like $25. Those Team Group, ones for real cheap, like $25, $30 Canadian. This one I paid $34.99 for. I buy 500 gig hard drives off of eBay for $25. Then we have this Tesseract case. This isn't my favorite. I mean, the side window has this weird thing in it, and but it's got blue light. It's only got 1 fan that comes with it. But if you're selling a system, it's white. It looks nice. You put it all in there. You're gonna sell it pretty quick. I'd be happy to rock this case. It's got lots of drive bays. It's got lots of spots to put fans and stuff like that. So you're not going to go too wrong. So all in total, I paid $389.96 Canadian for this, and there was some taxes involved because some of this stuff I didn't buy, used or on eBay, the graphics card and stuff like that. So said and done, I'm $425.06 Canadian to build this system. Convert that down to the US, and I know it doesn't exactly work like a straight conversion, but you can, if you're in a big city center or something like that, it's pretty easy to find the deals that I've found, or you can resort to eBay. And if you're in the States, eBay is much better than up here. If I don't want to pay duties on stuff, I'm kind of ruined to do anything south of the border. So I typically stick to Canadian stuff, which is a little bit more expensive and harder to find. So $325.50 for this computer. But what can it do? It's a freaking good computer, actually. I'm pretty stoked on it. So 432 in Cinebench. That is a respectable score all day long. That's not overclocked. That's running a stock cooler. That's with 1600 megahertz RAM. Not bad at all. And then if you want to, I'll show you the graphics card here now. So we've got MSI Afterburner. So we'll run Heaven Benchmark, and I'll get rid of this how much things cost here. Waboosh. So yeah, we'll run Heaven Benchmark. And I'll show you. This thing, you can do another 125 on the core and, 400 on the memory. I could go higher than that. Like, I could get this thing to run at 1500 megahertz, but some games were just crashing out randomly. And I like to find the safe overclock for the computers that I sell. And I set the profile in MSI Afterburner, and I tell the customer that they have the option to turn the overclock off. Or, if you press 1, it will make the graphics card run as fast as possible. But you see it's running at 1466 megahertz and 39. I had it running at 15 and 4000, but it was unstable. And I think it's just the Zotac model probably isn't the best. It comes with one 6-pin connector, so you're going to need a decent power supply. But I forgot to mention the power supply in that too. So if we go back to here, boof, power supply was $39.99. You can get a nice, decent 500-watt power supply all the time for sub $40 in the US, no problem. So all in all, this is a very good deal on a PC. It's something you can have fun building yourself. There's a little bit of troubleshooting sometimes with some of this older stuff, and you got that risk of buying something on eBay that just isn't is past its usable life whatever span and stuff like that, but no problems there. So we'll close out of all this stuff, and we'll see here. I just want to show you we got 60 was running Heaven Benchmark for a second there. 65 doesn't get too hot on the GPU. There's only one exhaust fan on this thing. That's not going to be a problem at all. And we ran Cinebench, and we see that the CPU never got over like 65 degrees. So with the stock cooler, some good thermal paste, you're not going to have any dang issues. So let's go over to there we go. That's what it gets. Poof. In 3D Markfire Strike, it gets this system 6763, which is not bad at all, and a graphics score of about 8500. So that's really, really good. And if you want to go bloop, this is just kind of some listings I found for the stuff that I bought. So 2400, $40. There you go. Buy now. These are all American eBay dealies. So not bad at all. You can see it's pretty easy to find this exact CPU, which would be, I would say, on par with the low end Ryzen 3s. No problem. You can't overclock them, but you're not worrying about expensive DDR4 memory. And I bet the scores are pretty similar on a 1200 or a 1300 at stock speeds compared to this. 2400 from Intel. Not bad. Moving down the line here. Boof. Dude, there we go. This chick's showing us the nice 61 motherboard you can get, for under $50. I love this girl on the... That doesn't even make sense. And some DDR3, like there's a Samsung 1600 megahertz under $40. Like, so the prices are all in line, and you can find better than I'm just showing. Like, this was a quick eBay search. If you look in your local classifieds, you can find stuff. There's that SSD that I love. It's $29.99 at American Newegg. I buy these in bulk because they work well. They're 3D NAND flash. It's enough to put Windows and a bunch of programs on. You load your games onto a separate hard drive, no problem. And then there's a Tesseract. I think I have this TX model because it's got the see-through window and this one doesn't. I got a really good deal. I think I paid $34.99, I paid $39.99 Canadian for it or whatever. That was just, the store I was at, that was the lowest, kind of see-through window. This is what sells PCs for me, is a nice case with a side window and a blue LED in it. It's got to look modern, and that's where this differentiates from buying an off-lease system and just dropping a GPU in it. You're going to have a better power supply. You're going to have some upgradability options that you won't in some of those off-lease systems. You're paying, like, I was seeing Core i5 systems in that Tech City store for $275 with equivalent specs to this, and then you got to buy the GPU. So, we're getting a cool custom system for even, less than that, and you get to have the fun of building it, or you can buy it from me for, a good chunk of change. So, here's the 960. I don't know if this is really the best deal out there on a graphics card. It's like a 1050 Ti. It seems like the prices are still up there. But, I mean, if you scout around there, you're looking for like a 770, a 960, a 1050. On the AMD side, like, it's really good as an R9 270X. Those are pretty easy to find for around $100. So, put all that together and you get a really decent gaming system. So I'm sure you're going to want to see the benchmarks, because I did do a couple of benchmarks on this system specifically. So keep in mind, this isn't benchmarks on the system, sorry, it's not benchmarks on the GPU with like a really great CPU. This is this system. This is what you can expect. I just did a bunch of gaming on this. I played Fortnite and PUBG. I played a couple rounds to make sure that this thing doesn't, just super drop frames or anything. And let's go ahead and we'll watch. So there we go. So we got Project Cars lining up. And there's a test system, i5-2400. It's stuck at 3.2. I think it turbos up to 3.4 sometimes, but I didn't see that very much. 1600 memory. There's my settings in Project Cars. This was set automatically by the game, a mix of high and medium settings at 1080p. And, we see I'm driving a McLaren here, and I'm one of these drivers in these games that just like slams into people to try and get ahead on those tough turns. But, it's 60 FPS. And yeah, the lows are getting near 30, but not a problem at all with this medium, highish settings. It looks beautiful. Play this on a nice 1080p TV. You're going to be super happy. Here's a really modern game. I'm putting her up to normal. Far Cry 5, and you see, we can jump on the jet ski, and there's going to be a helicopter. This is a scene with like lots going on. I'm driving a jet ski. I'm trying to take a helicopter down with a handgun. Where's the helicopter? Oh, there it is. These guys are real mad at me. They don't want me around, and the frames are not bad. 60 frames a second at normal. Like that's medium settings. Grand Theft Auto, a little bit older of a game nowadays, but you can jot things past high. Some decent settings, and you're rocking well over 60 FPS. Not bad at all. This is one of the games that definitely shined with this setup because it's expecting some lower hardware, and lower VRAM, even though it does like VRAM. This is a CPU-driven game, and it's handling it just fine. The GPU's maxed out, and the CPU's up there 95%. Not bad at all. I'm really good at driving with the keyboard. Okay, here is PUBG. Okay, we got medium settings. Not bad at all. And this was totally playable. In fact, we'll see in a second, I am able to get some sniper rifle kills, no problem. The 1% or the 0.1% lows were really bad, like 14, but that's just PUBG for you. And you see I get a nice sniper kill. I was playing with a really terrible mouse here, and I was still getting some kills. So this is totally playable with this system. And then, not bad at all. 2 kills. I went up in I think it was 8th in this session. Not bad. And then here's Fortnite. Well, it's good to go medium and then epic draw distance and increase the resolution scaling to full. And, and then we see I'm really good at Fortnite here. I'm begging this person to help me off the ground. They want nothing to do with it. But thankfully, Electric Jesus was able to help me. He puts a fort around me, and he's like, oh, I'm Electric Jesus. I'll totally help you out, buddy. He got me off the ground so I could play for another minute before I died. So, yeah, this is a really nice little system, and I actually, I would play with this. I would put this as my media center, play on my 1080p TV and have no issues whatsoever. I really like this. So this is something I would put for sale, and people pay $600 for this because, that's Canadian. So, $500 computer in the States-ish. At least at Walmart in my area, you can buy a 1050 system with a Core i5, 8 gigs of DDR4 in a case that's nothing like this. Nothing's going to be really that great or upgradable. The power supply is going to be junk, and that's $999.99. So if you're thinking of buying, a lot of these parts are new too, especially the graphics card is new. Yeah, the 2400 is getting up there in age, but it's not a bad, little processor at all. It still rivals some of the stuff that's sold on the budget. This is better than any of the Pentiums and stuff like that you can get, even the Kaby Lake ones. It's a quad-core processor with a decent clock speed, and you fire some 8 gigs in there, you're going to be fine for video games, as we saw. And it's like half the price of buying a brand new system at your Best Buy or at Walmart or whatever. The systems like that's going to be your bare bones minimum. Go online and try and find a system like this that's got mostly new parts. It's going to be really hard. So I'm at Watch Timmy Joe, Instagram and Twitter. I hope that this helps you out with your budget computer needs. But I just want to show you guys, kind of what I get up to when I'm working in. This is what I do. I sell computers locally. I put them on, the local selling sites, Facebook and stuff like that. They're typically gone in a couple of days because everyone's playing Fortnite these days. And it's just a really nice little system that has some upgradability online. You could definitely put a better graphics card in it. You could, I know it would be hard, but you could find 16 gigs of RAM and popular 2 8 gig sticks, double the RAM in it. You could put another couple hard drives in it to, access media and stuff like that because there is room in this system for it. And really, all in all, it's just a nice little system. There's lots of drive cages. You could even put some CD-ROMs in it if you want. I hate that, and I don't get what's with these 2 weird grills. Why aren't they the same? Why do you need 2? I don't know. But with the single included blue LED fan that plugs in via Molex, the system was, the temperatures were well under control and she wasn't bad. So if you have any questions or you want to know how to build one of these things, I got comments below. And come on, 5 likes for $325 computer, huh? 5, let's get a subscription. Let's get me on the Twitter. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks very much for watching. I love all you guys. Well over 60,000 subscribers now. Every subscriber helps. Every view counts, helps. So looking forward to some more content later on this week, and I'll see you guys later. Look at this 32-inch monitor from BenQ. I'm going to be looking at that a little bit later. See you guys later.